Everybody, welcome back to another edition of 30 Teams in 30 Days here on Inside the Zone with Mateo. So glad you're choosing to spend your next couple minutes here, and I really do hope you're entertained. For those who do not know, my name is Mateo. I run the podcast, and really all the podcasts here on the YouTube channel, but also Spotify, iHeartRadio, and everywhere you can get your podcasts, almost everywhere you can get your podcasts. But anyway, for those who do not know, or I should say maybe first, welcome back to people who have come back to 30 Teams in 30 Days, which is our NBA offseason preview. Every day in June, there are 30 days in June, there are 30 NBA teams. We take a look at one team every day through the entire month of June, bro. Like, I normally post twice, 2 long-form videos a week. We are posting 30 videos in the month of June, once every day, around the same time of day, probably like 5 Eastern or something like that. But it's great, bro. I'm super excited to be here. We got day 6 today. Memphis Grizzlies. We're talking about all things Grizzlies today. So Grizzly fans, if you're here in the comments, let me know. NBA fans, if you're here just wanting to watch and see what I think about the Grizzlies, let me know as well in the comments down below. And by the way, for those who don't remember, if you comment in every single comment section, you might get a little prize at the end if you make it through all 30 teams and 30-day episodes. But we'll see. We'll see about that later. For those of you who don't know how this works, we're basically taking a deep dive through each NBA team during the month of June. This is the schedule we run, basically. We're going from worst record to best record. So as you can see, here's the scheduled dates. As you can see, we are on June 6th today. We're here on June 6th. It's time for the Memphis Grizzlies, who had the 6th worst record in the NBA last season with a record of 25-57. I think that one might be a little off. No. That is right. Sorry, I was looking at the Dallas Mavericks. Never mind. Ignore that. We got the record correct here. June 6th. We're not even a week in yet, but we just did the Kings yesterday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. And if you haven't watched any of the other ones, go ahead and check those out as well. They will be linked. They're in my channel. You can find them. There's going to be a separate playlist for 30 teams in 30 days, but also it will be on my season 2 playlist as well. And here's a list just in case you want to see where your favorite team is going to end up. Make sure you put it in your calendar or something, or notifications. Just turn the notification bell button on and subscribe, like, all that stuff. You guys know how to do that. Anyway, let's get into it. I got to stop yapping. Mateo Show batting order. Mateo Show batting order is basically a show roadmap, just so you kind of get an idea of where we're going. I use this on all the podcasts. So if you'd like to sponsor this, let me know. But without further ado, let's just get into it. Same batting order for every episode here in June. Normally, it's kind of different based on whatever topic we're going through. But today, in this month, it's going to be the same batting order, if you will. There's 5 things or so. And for those who aren't watching, you can't read it, obviously. Here's what they say. Number 1 is, how well did this team do last season? Who I think they should draft. We'll go through a mock draft simulator. I also will present who I think they should keep from their UFAs and RFAs. Who I think they should target either by the open market or the trade block, or just the trade, whatever you want to call it, the trade market, if you will. And then finally, I end the episode with what I think their early ceiling and floor is, if they make some moves that I suggest, or if they keep their team relatively the same. So without further ado, it is the Memphis Grizzlies today. So Grizzly fans, let's talk about your season just a little bit. 25-26 season. We're going to recap your record, recap your players and stuff. It was an interesting year for you guys. It was a very interesting year. You went 25-57. 13th spot in the Western Conference. You dealt with injuries. You traded Jaren Jackson. Ja Morant had one weird of a season. And Cedric Coward was your top scorer. He was also your top rebounder. Your top assister was Cam Spencer. The good thing here, because you traded Desmond Bane a couple years ago, got a couple picks. You got a couple picks this year. You got the 3rd overall pick, which is going to be a very interesting topic. You got also the 16th and the 32nd pick. And we don't normally go through the second round, but since this pick is kind of within it's like a very late first rounder, we're going to go through that as well. We're going to go through the mock draft in a second. However, y'all know me. We're going to go to ESPN. We're going to take a look at some stats here just so you guys have an idea of how well, or really how poor, the Memphis Grizzlies played this season. So hold up. Let me get these things straightened up in a second. Pardon me. Bam. Perfect. All right. Sounds good. So you can see this. As you can see, Cedric Coward averaging about 14 points a game, was their team leader in points. And now people are going to always go off of me and say, Ty Jerome, John Morant, Jaren Jackson, they average over 19 points a game. Well, they didn't play the minimum number of games. So in the NBA, if you don't know this already, there is a minimum number of games requirement to be, quantifiable or to be able to qualify. Qualifiable, that's the right word. For these team leaders and awards in general, these guys did not play enough games to qualify for that. So that's why they aren't. But, I mean, Todd Jerome in 15 games did average almost 20 points. He was off to a great start in the 15 games he played. And then John Morant in the 20 games he played also averaged almost 20 points a game. But that's besides the point. Jaren Jackson ended up getting traded, so we don't care about that. Cedric Coward was that player who played over 60 games, and he averaged almost 14 points a game. He also averaged 6 rebounds a game, including also 3 assists. Zach Edey, again, struggled with injury. Here's the thing. Sure, people are going to say, the Grizzlies were just trying to tank. They legit just suffered a lot of injuries, and it was really unfortunate to watch this unfold. Zach Edey was averaging 14 points before he got hurt. Jalen Wells, almost 70 games. That was really encouraging. 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Definitely, you got to get those other 2 stat categories up a little bit. But the points, he was contributing pretty well, especially averaging, 26 minutes a night, 13 points. That was about, a point in, that's a point half the time he was playing, which is pretty dang good. Especially for a player that is still trying to figure out who he's going to be in this NBA. GG Jackson going to be a free agent this season, I believe, in 55 games. He did start 28 of them because of the injuries. He normally will come off the bench, or that was at least his role last season. Again, 12.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Scottie Pippen, again, dealt with injuries. I mean, you're looking at this. So many players played under 30 or so games. Some played even under 20 games. It's just unfortunate. Cam Spencer did play 72 games, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. It was his stat total. I mean, and it's just like everybody else did not really play well. I mean, even Kyle Anderson played 4 games before he got traded. It's just KCP even 8 points in 54 games, but it's just he had been in and out of the lineup so inconsistently because of injuries. It's just I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Memphis Grizzlies. You suffered a lot of injuries. It was a very weird season for you, but you were kind of rewarded with the 3rd overall pick, and that's, I guess, where we'll go right now because there's not much else to talk about with these team leaders, these stats. So we're going to go over here to the 2026 NBA Draft Simulator. You can find this on ESPNanalytics.com/NBA Draft Simulator. You could just look up ESPN NBA Draft Simulator and it will pop up. It will be the first thing. It's according to ESPN Analytics. I trust this a lot. And so we're going to be, picking for the Memphis Grizzlies. So, AJ Bonsa, Darren Peterson, they go 1-2. As I have already said in other episodes, I think that's what's going to happen. But now here's the interesting thing. I don't think it's a hard pick, but let's pull up the depth chart just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. This team, for the most part, will be under contract. There's a couple players like GG Jackson, players off the bench, KCP, that could be free agents. I think some players have some player options, but other than that, a majority of this starting lineup, or whatever you want to call this starting 5, should be fully healthy, fully ready to go, so you can get a good look. And, looking at the depth chart, definitely the point guard position, it could improve, but I'd say you don't have to really worry about that, and so that, I think, limits... that kind of takes away all odds of taking really a guard. I think you could end up taking a shooting guard, which could be like a Keaton Wagler. But then for that, I'd probably trade down because I think Cam Booger is going to go 3rd overall no matter who's on the clock. But I just want to, again, explain why I think Cam Booger is a good fit for the Memphis Grizzlies. You look at this forward group. They traded away Jaren Jackson. It's a perfect room. It's perfect room for Cam Booger to fit in. So it's like, really, just saying that is enough to say, or should be enough to convince you, 92% chance people are picking, or ESPN Analytics is predicting that Cam Booger is going to be a member of the Memphis Grizzlies, and I think that's going to happen. Keaton Wagler goes to the LA Clippers. Mara actually going to the Kings is actually very interesting. Acuff to the Dallas Mavericks again. Interesting. Man, Steinbeck goes 13. Yaxel goes 14. Okay, interesting. So now on the board, Nate Ament is still on the board. Like you could go double forwards. And again, like I was trying to explain this to you here. This forward group is definitely weaker. Like they have Zach Edey, who's a solid center when healthy. You can always find a backup center in free agency if needed. So I don't think you need to draft a center. I think the only center you could consider drafting would have been one of the guys that had already gone, like a Yaxel or a Heinz Steinbeck that had already gone in this mock draft. So I don't think you go center. Like you could go guard. I mean, this is a very deep guard class. Currently still on the board, though there's not a lot of top guards left. And the crazy thing is, 12th ranked Nate Ament is still on the board. So I think for this, you go double forward. I think you go double forward for this. And I think that's I think it's also a safe pick because you don't want OKC to have the chance to get Nate Ament. I think that's also a big thing you have to think about as we're watching just the rest of these teams pick. You know, it's a mock draft. We don't know if this is going to be fully capable of. Minnesota takes on forward. I don't think that's realistic. I think they take a guard. Definitely depending on what they do, though. And then here, this will be the last pick we take. I think now you could, take Henry. You could take Henry for sure, but I think this is where you take a guard. You take maybe a shot, but actually, yeah, Henry, 28th ranked player. I think, once you hit this, this is crazy that he's still out there. 7-foot center. You could go 7'4" center. I think the 7-foot center out of UNC, pretty chill here. I'm going to just pause. So this is who I have them drafting with this mock draft. I mean, they have some really good picks. I think this in a loaded draft pick, in a loaded draft class, this is very good. You got Cam Boozer 3, Nate Ament 16, and then you got Henry here. So this helps your bigs depth, if you will, your forwards, your centers depth. And I think this improves your team a lot. I think with those 3 picks, I do think they could hypothetically possibly trade some of these picks away. But again, I think they keep those picks. I think they make the selections. Cam Boozer makes a lot of sense here for this team. And you get a little younger. I mean, they're going to be in a little bit of a rebuild. I'm not expecting anything crazy from the Memphis Grizzlies this year. And that is a big reason why I think maybe John Morant might get pushed around. I think he wants to hunt for a championship. He's been in Memphis for a while. Things have not gone wrong, not gone right, really, with, relationships over there. But we'll talk about John Morant trade options in a second. That's going to be a lot of the rest of the talk once we get to that free agency talk. But, yeah, I think just with the way this roster is set up, going forwards and centers is probably the best. And also looking ahead into the free agency class, it is a way deeper guard free agency class than forwards and centers, especially for the cheaper players. So I think, again, there's going to be some scenarios we'll talk about here. But to help this hopefully make a little bit more sense, I guess we can skip the draft. Boom. And then, start a free agency. We split this free agency chunk into 2 spots here on these episodes. The first part is taking a look at the teams, RFAs and UFAs, restricted free agents and unrestricted free agents, see who I think they should re-sign. And here's the thing. There's not too many. I think that, we've been doing this here with the pen of who I think they should sign. Okay, club option here on GG Jackson, I think they definitely take up. KCP is going to take his $21 million player option. I almost guarantee it. Right, at 33 years old, he's going to take that $21 million player option. I don't know if he's going to get a bigger contract than that if he declines his player option. So I think he takes that. I think it's Ryan Rupert, 22 years old, shooting guard. I think, again, they take him, I think, and then they also take Prosper, who's also on a club option as well as of unrestricted early bird. It's a They added this. It's actually going to be a club option. Oh man, writing with a mouse is okay. It is a club option for Oliver Prosper here until a specific time, I believe. However, I do think they take all 4 of these guys. I mean, I think if it was up to them and there wasn't a player option, if he was a unrestricted free agent, they would probably say, okay, goodbye. But now with this, it's you're kind of stuck here with KCP for at least another season. Maybe he's a trade piece. He's a good sizable contract that you could definitely take, say, in another deal that can fill some salary, which I think could also benefit them as well. So with that being said, that's who I think what their line is going to look like. So again, still, you're building up. You have another backup shooting guard in KCP. You'll have Cedric Coward, who was great. He'll probably be your starter unless you go out and make a move. You got Ty Jerome still here, Scottie Pippen Jr., John Morant. That's a very good guard class, or it's not an elite guard class, but it's a pretty solid guard class. And then again, getting Boozer, maybe getting Nate Ament if he falls to you at 16. I think your forwards and centers groups are looking pretty good as well. So you're definitely putting yourself in a good spot to at least be semi-competitive. Hopefully, all of these teams that we break down, every single one of them, I want to see them succeed, except maybe the Spurs and the Thunder. Just being a Timberwolves fan, being in this West, I hate. I don't hate them. I just don't want them to succeed anymore. OKC is kind of annoying. Spurs are getting to be a little bit annoying. And so other than that, I think I want every other team to succeed pretty well. And it's unfortunate where the Grizzlies are right now. I mean, what a drastic turn it's been from a couple of years ago. I'm thinking even when they beat the Timberwolves in that playoff series, what was that, 5-6 years ago now? I believe Anthony Edwards' rookie season. It's just crazy. It's just crazy where they've gone, how John Morant has progressed, how he has developed as a player. It's been very interesting to watch. And it's kind of been unfortunate to watch as well. I thought they were starting to get something going, and well, maybe they started to get something going in the wrong way. So now this is kind of the fun part here, the free agency, predicting who this team, so the Grizzlies, will pursue, who they will sign either by the open market or by a trade. So I do have some targets here on my top targets, but it's not like necessarily specific players, because I don't think they can go wrong here by not signing a specific player. So there's three things here. The first thing, I think they do some younger guards. Now, obviously, with this forward group, and we're going based off of that, they draft Cam Boozer. They draft probably another forward at some point. Maybe they do get a guard at 16. Maybe they trade 16 away. I don't know, but I still think you need to definitely try to grab a younger guard. Also, the second thing here is I think it's almost a must to trade John Morant at this point. I think he's just bad for the locker room. I think you're going to maybe hand the reins over to Cam Boozer. He has what it takes. I love Cam Boozer. I've loved watching him play in college, right? He's super fun to watch. He seems like he wants this. He's giving me Cooper Flag type of vibes. And I think if you maybe need to just say, okay, we're going to give up on John Morant. We're going to see what we can get. There's been teams interested. Yes, my Timberwolves have been, quote, interested. I don't want anything to do with John Morant. We'll talk about some John Morant trades for the Timberwolves, though, of course, because they're all over the internet. But yeah, I think you just almost have to get, you have to be satisfied with almost anything you get for Ja. It's just almost necessary. And then the third thing is Rui Hachimura is going to be a free agent. I believe unrestricted. I think he's unrestricted. Is he unrestricted or is he restricted? I don't remember with the Lakers. Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent. He does have the bird, so the Lakers could go over the salary cap to sign him. But I think Rui Hachimura could be a very interesting addition to this team to go alongside Cam Boozer. What I'm thinking here is I don't know who the point guard is going to be, but then I think Cedric Coward gets a shot at the two guard, and then imagine a Rui Hachimura, Cam Boozer, and then Zach Edey. That's an intriguing starting five. And maybe then you keep John Morant in the lineup, and then you have Cedric Coward, or maybe a different shooting guard, Rui, Cam Boozer, and Zach Edey. It's an intriguing, right? It's an intriguing starting five that I thought, I'm going to put Rui question mark on the list, because it's if you can go get him unrestricted free agent, I don't know if he's going to be interested in coming there. I just thought maybe it's interesting. And then you have the opportunity to put him either at the 3 or the 4. And then wherever Cam, you feel like Cam Boozer has the best spot because he's played the 3 and the 4. I think personally he looks better at the 3. So really that's just kind of what I'm thinking here for the offseason. We'll go through some trades in a second. But just I want to make sure we take a look at here on the unrestricted free agents. Like, I don't think they go out and get an older guy like a CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Porzingis is even a little older there, I think. I think they go younger. And some younger guards that intrigue me here for this team could be Anfernee Simons. I think he's a very fascinating free agent. I think the Bulls are probably going to try to acquire him or re-sign him. But again, maybe he fills the role as that starting shooting guard over there in Memphis. I think that could be interesting. Same thing, another Chicago Bull free agent, Colin Sexton. Very interesting free agent as well. And then who was the third one? Man, I'm gonna have to look up just guards. It was Sexton, it was Simons, and then who was Kobe White. Kobe White might be my favorite for the Memphis Grizzlies, and it's mostly because I do think they're going to move on from John Morant, and John Morant's a point guard. You're going to need a replacement, and I don't know if you're going to necessarily get a point guard replacement. I don't think they're going to trade a point guard for a point guard, because here's the thing. Whoever wants John Morant, I think probably needs a point guard, meaning they don't have a point guard most likely. So then you're going to need an opening. Point guard, Kobe White, 26 years old, probably going to make about $15 and $20 million, maybe less than $20 million, somewhere in between 15 and 20, I think. And he just gives you another youth, a younger guard, but he still has some experience. Again, I think Charlotte, I think I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago. The thing here about Charlotte is Kobe White, I think, deserves to be a starting point guard on a team. And LaMelo Ball is that starting point guard on that team. So I don't know how satisfied. I think he was happy to just get out of Chicago and try to compete for a championship. And then Charlotte obviously fell just a little short of maybe making the playoffs. I think they lost in the play-in tournament. And yeah, it's just really interesting. It's really interesting what they're going to do over there in Charlotte. I can't wait to break Charlotte down in a couple days or so, and maybe a couple of weeks at this point. Oh, yeah, it's just really interesting. I mean, going through the rest of these guards, Kevin Huerter, again, that could be interesting. I just think he's going to be a little bit more expensive. Gabe Vincent, I mentioned, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I don't remember. Quentin Grimes, again, could be interesting. Ayo Sumo, I don't think he goes here. I really do think he's going to sign back with the Timberwolves. And I don't think a veteran like a Garrett Temple, Tim Hardaway Jr., Russell Westbrook, I just don't think they don't fit the timetable. I think you definitely need a younger guard. Yeah, so it's just really interesting. It's really interesting. Let me know who you think the Grizzlies should acquire or try to target. The second thing, again, on my list of targets was anything you can get for John Morant, right? So here's where we're going to have a little fun for the next couple minutes or so. Probably a little longer because I love trade machines. I love doing them. This is their salary information, if you will. So first apron, they have so much room. They have so much room here that almost any move can work. By the way, I don't know why Kyle Anderson's still here. He's on the Timberwolves. I don't know why he's there, but it is what it is. But besides the point, there's a lot of money that could be put around. They could take in a bunch of salary, which is very good. But before we make our own trades, I wanted to share you guys a couple trades that I found here on Fanspell. You can do fanspo.com/NBA, and you can just see all these trades people are putting together, some professionals, some just fans like me, and you can also put together some trades. So this one 2 hours ago, I just saw. It fails just because of some team options, I think. But I just wanted to see what the heck this was going for, because obviously the Timberwolves have been rumored and they want a point guard, right? We need a point guard. As a Timberwolves fan, we need a point guard, right? I don't want John Morant, but this is what it would be. The Nuggets get Dante DiVincenzo, Cedric Coward, Terrence Shannon, and Scottie Pippen for basically Cameron Johnson. The Johnson then goes to the Grizzlies. Then the Timberwolves for John Morant give up Baron J and Naz Reid. as well as they give up Dante DiVincenzo. Now, here's the thing. Dante is going to be out for most likely this rest of the season. So I don't know if the Nuggets do this because they get rid of Cameron Johnson, right? But they don't really get anybody. Like, they get some perimeter shooting. They get Terrence Shannon. I just don't think, first of all, the Nuggets, I just don't think this happens. And then I don't think the Timberwolves give up Yohan Berenjay and Naz Reid and Terrence Shannon essentially for Ja Morant. I just don't think that happens. I just wanted to put that. I saw this. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? There is no way that goes through. But I appreciate them putting it out here. Ja to the Nets has been something that has been all around all my social medias and stuff. And this trade, I mean, as you can see, it works perfectly with caps and salaries and all that stuff. The Nets get Ja and Santi Aldama. In return, the Memphis Grizzlies acquire Nick Claxton, Terrence Mann, Drake Powell, and Ben Seraph. Personally, this trade, I think, could definitely work. I think the Grizzlies don't need any more picks. They have so many picks. It's going to actually maybe even end up being a problem with this new draft lottery thing that came out a couple days ago. I don't think they want more picks. I think they want players. I think they want young players, again, to build around whoever they draft at 3. I think they probably draft Cam Boozer. I could see a way where they potentially try to move up to 2 to maybe take Darren Peterson, but I think they go Cam Boozer. Just makes the most sense for their team. And now they want pieces to build around him. Essentially, they get a starting 5, essentially, for Ja Morant and Santi Aldama, who has been very up and down throughout his career. They get Claxton, who can be either a backup center, but he'll probably end up starting with Zach Edey's injury history. Terrence Mann can be an easy starting 2 guard. Then Drake Powell and Ben Seraph can be either bench or you could even have them start. And most importantly, you just get younger, you get cheaper to some extent. So I don't hate this. I don't hate it. I just think you could probably find a better trade. This 3-team trade. Okay, this 3-team trade, as you can see, Zion and Ja Morant going to the Nets. Zion his name has been in so many trades that this one though I think I like the most out of all of them. Again, Terrence Mann, Claxton still involved in this trade. But this time, instead of getting Aldama and Morant, the Nets are getting Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. Essentially, just trying to start a new core. They trade away Michael Porter Jr., who I do think his value is a lot. I think Michael Porter Jr.'s trade value is way higher than Ja Morant. But this makes sense because, essentially, the Nets are giving up Michael Porter Jr. for Zion and Ja Morant, which, again, that makes a little bit more sense. Missy ends up going also to the Grizzlies. So now it's basically, essentially, Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Boozer being your 2 in Memphis, which I actually kind of like that combo as well, the more that I'm thinking about it. The Pelicans, in return for Zion, here's the thing, though. I think the thing holding the Pelicans back, holding this trade back, is the Pelicans. I don't think Nick Claxton and Terrence Mann are enough for Zion. I think you have to throw in at least 1 pick, maybe 2. I think you do. MPJ for Ja is such a losing trade for Brooklyn. Yeah, I just don't think the Nets take this initially. Maybe if they're confident in Zion's health, but also you're taking 2 injury-prone players. Like this one, I don't know how much I like this one. If this was it looks like this was a Nets fan too. My goodness, Nets, what are you doing? You guys I just did a video on you a couple days ago. I was super high on you. Don't blow it up. Don't do it up. Don't blow it up. Ja Morant headed to Brooklyn again. This one included Kyle Anderson, who's not on the team, so it wouldn't work. But in return, again, we're just trying to see what Ja Morant's trade value is because I literally don't know what his trade value is, okay? I legit have no idea what Ja Morant's trade value is. Nick Claxton, Terrence Mann, Noah Clowney, a first and 3 seconds. Like, yeah, I mean, I just don't think they do it. I don't think they do it, but who knows? Who knows? I saw this one, Ja to the Suns. This one intrigued me a lot. And this one, I do want to play around with. Okay, I want to play around with the Suns trade. So we're going to get over here. Bam. Basically, here's what you would do. Devin Booker, he had been playing point guard. I think you move him back to shooting guard. And you just create, in quotes, a dynamic backcourt, right? You do John Morant, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams, and then you figure out your power forward. I don't know who would play power forward. Maybe you could have Royce O'Neal play your power forward. And that starting five looks a lot better. In that trade, Jalen Green gets traded. I think the Suns will do anything to get rid of Jalen Green. I think he's almost a number one trade target. Like they need to trade him. He's probably on the first on their trade block. It's just not working over there. And I think he can maybe, he's 24 years old. He's super young. Can we also just take a moment to say that John Morant is only 26 years old? Like that's crazy. 1-for-1, this works. I'm pretty sure 1-for-1, right? Those salaries align. Yeah, they do align. Okay. Obviously, I don't think this is a good enough trade. I don't think they go 1-for-1. I do see a way. I do see a vision in a sense where this could go a 1-for-1 deal, but I think Memphis might want a little bit more, and I do think you don't have to add too much. I think essentially, I did say you weren't going to get a point guard in return. I think Colin Gillespie, you add him, or at least give them the rights. You throw in then a second-round pick, an additional second-round pick. Again, I don't think they want first-round picks. Maybe a second round is fine because it doesn't affect with the lottery. It's going to fail just because Gillespie has a team option or club option. It's just because his contract, they got to pick up the club option. I think something like this fits John Morant's trade value perfectly. Let me know in the comments, like, what is John Morant's trade value? Like, people are saying, oh, it's so much. I don't think it's much. Okay? For the Timberwolves, just because people have been saying it, I don't think the Timberwolves do this. I don't even think you trade Julius Randle, and you know how much I want Julius Randle to be traded. I don't think you do it. I think it's like this is the thing. I don't know. Maybe you do a 3-team trade. Maybe you do a 3-team trade with, let's say, the Hornets. Rudy Gobert gets out. You trade Gobert to the Hornets. You make room. Then the Hornets then they send Miles Bridges. I think Miles Bridges to the Grizzlies should work, right? What's Hornets are acquiring $2 million too much, and we're acquiring for too much. Okay, so maybe it is Johan Berens. I don't think so. Maybe here you get the Grizzlies. You can get DiVincenzo's contract because maybe you can still get a year of Dante after the ACL. And then wait, does this work? It looks like everything. I think who one more is gone. Yeah, perfect. Okay, it's just the Hornets that are acquiring too much salary because his contract is huge. Malachi Branham could be interesting. Let's just do for the sake of this, just to end it quickly. It's somebody like a Trey Mann going to the Grizz. So, like, maybe you could say, wow, Grizzlies are getting too much. They get Miles Bridges, Trey Mann, and Dante DiVincenzo. Something like this. I think, right, that would be something. This would work. But other than that, like, I just don't see it happening. And I think Gobert, they're going to get more for Gobert. I think personally, Hornets give you a 27 first. And I think you also still get a 2030 first from the Grizzlies. I think you get 2 firsts for Rudy Gobert. That's what I'm thinking. And I sent it to the Grizzlies, whatever. I sent it to the Grizzlies. But something like that here. Let me fix it. That's bothering me. 2030 needs to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dude, it's all good. To the Timberwolves. Timberwolves we go. Try trade. It's successful. I think that's a realistic trade. But again, it's unrealistic because I don't think the Timberwolves are going to do it. And so, yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. It's just a very interesting. John Morant it's a very interesting trade value. I just don't know what his trade value is. And we're going to have to wait and see. But I do think he's going to get traded. I think that's one of your top targets. You're just going to hope you can get something good. And I think they'll get something decent. I think the Suns could give you something. I think the Nets could give you something. There was a rumor that the Celtics won him. I'm like, all right, how are you going to make that contract work? By trading them Jaylen Brown? Heck no, they're not going to do that whatsoever. But however, here, I mean, since I mentioned that, why not? Why not? Why not? Since I mentioned that, I got to do it now. The Celtics, there were rumors that because they need a point guard. Here's the thing. Jaylen Brown wants to be this new. He wants to be a star on a team, right? Salaries match up nice. But here's the thing. It's not going to be enough, right? Well, they have so many picks. They have so many tradable picks because of that Desmond Bane trade. You could give them almost all of those picks. You could give them almost all those picks. They're acquiring $3 million too much. Okay, hold up. Pause. Please hold. I'm gonna make this work, you guys. I'm gonna make this work because I mentioned it. I got to do it. Cedric, and I think Walter Clayton could be a little bit more realistic here. And now it goes through. Yep. I mean, you could do it. Don't think it's gonna happen. But Clayton and 4 firsts for Jaylen Brown could be interesting. I don't know if that happens. I don't know. I'm speculating now. And now I should probably stop recording because I'm speculating too much. Anyway, that's probably not going to happen. But if all these things happen, what do I think their ceiling is? Or if they don't really do much, if they keep their team relatively the same, they just draft Cam Boozer, what do I think their floor is? Well, it's their ceiling. If they don't make any moves, if they keep their team relatively the same, I think they're a bottom five team in the Western Conference. With the moves, if they make a move, if they trade Ja Morant, if they make some of these good moves that I suggested, maybe they go get Kobe White. Maybe they go get Gabe Vincent. I don't know. Maybe they go get somebody. I think at the most, their ceiling is a play and exit. Of course, their floor is still a bottom 5 team. So again, I don't have too much hope for this team, but it's a very interesting team to talk about. And as you can see, I just ranted probably for 40-some minutes. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. Appreciate you guys for watching. New team coming up tomorrow. It's the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. Dude, Dallas is going to be fire. Because there are so many, again. Bro, Ja Morant, Kyrie Irving. Wow, we're just talking about a bunch of potential Timberwolves trade suitors. Very interesting. You know, I got to love that as a Timberwolves fan. But thank you guys so much for watching. That's what's coming up next on the show. By the way, after this 30 teams in 30 days series, we'll go back to our just Tuesday and Thursday episodes. Maybe we'll do episodes 3 days a week. Let me know how many episodes you want a week. For July and August while I'm out of school. And then once we get back to school, it's only twice a week or maybe less. We'll see what happens, though. You know what's going on. You're here. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell button on so you never miss any episodes. And here, again, one more time, is that graphic of showing you, or that schedule of when your favorite team is going. Let me know if you're going to be here for your favorite team. Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. Cooper Flag. Are we going to rebuild them? Are we setting a rebuild, or do I think they can compete? That and so much more. We're breaking down the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. But for now, that's just Mateo saying so long. Have a great day. Don't forget to keep God first, because he's the most important thing in your life. Don't forget him. He is the most important thing in your lives, and that's all that really matters. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Peace.